listening to Chris and Leicester Till I Die TV on YouTube and your favourite podcasts.
Hi everybody, Jerry Taggart here. Now be sure to watch Chris and Leicester Till I Die TV by subscribing on YouTube and following them on social media for all the latest Leicester City news and information. Come on, you foxes!
Of the net.
You're watching Leicester Till I Die TV.
Watch us on YouTube.
Listen on your favourite podcast platform.
Or ask your smart speaker
to play the podcast Leicester Till I Die.
Subscribe, like, follow, and join in now.
Right, Chris.
All right there. All right at the back. How are you all? How the devil are you? How's it going? It's Friday. And I'm here yet again. I feel like just leave me on repeat. I repeat a lot myself anyway. But we are back with the preview show. We've got Arsenal tomorrow. I'm a little bit worried, I'm not going to lie. It's Leicester Till I Die TV. This is where you can watch and listen to us.
Watch us on YouTube.
Listen on your favourite podcast platform.
Or ask your smart speaker
to play the podcast Leicester Till I Die.
Subscribe, like, follow, and join in now.
Indeed, and if you're not on YouTube, please get on over there and give us a like and a subscribe. It's Leicester Till I Die TV, and the subscriptions really do help and support the channel. World Sports Network, you posted this at 2:45 saying it's not on, lads. It wasn't at 2:45. You did confuse me. I've replied to you, but time difference, maybe? I don't know. Orange Juice, good evening. How are you? Potential lineup. We'll be possibly talking about that later. Dan, I can't show the Dan again. I was got a little bit of a slap wrist off YouTube for showing Dan before, so I can't show Dan again. I think it was probably too long. I normally get away with them. Maisie, how the devil are you? Welcome along. Looking forward to Spurs tomorrow. She's a Man United fan. Get over there, check her channel out. She does a lot of non-Man United stuff. Who can blame her these days? Ladies football, England ladies, the Lionesses. It's the stag race tomorrow. Spurs versus Man United. Tell you what, with them two at the wheel, Nuno and Ollie, it could be a bit of a car crash. So how are you doing? Orange Juice, Leicester City versus Arsenal potential lineup, please. I did say, calm down, Orange. I did say we would look at that in a bit in the show. So I never thought we'd be where we are, to be honest with you, at the start of the season, because when we said Arsenal didn't have a very good start to the season, let's be honest with you, nor did we. What are your thoughts on the game? Do you think we're going to do it? Or do you think it's going to be harder than that? I mean, we've been taking so I should say we. Yeah, you're dreading tomorrow, Maisie. I'm not overly keen on it. I've got to be honest with you. I'm a little bit nervous, especially as I've been doing this for most of the season, and I think it might just come back and bite me on the bum. Are you going to get bitten on the bum tomorrow, Brad?
I should hope not. I shouldn't be going anywhere to get bit on the bum. Hi, Chris. It's good to be back. It's been a while.
It has. Who are you? Who are
I
you?
know, right?
Who are you?
People forgot I used to do videos for you. It's been nearly a full 24 hours, mate.
In fact, I tell you what, just in case people are a little bit confused, oh no, your name is up there. Your name is up there, so they will just so they remember you. You know,
Brad,
you
formerly
might as
known
well,
as Jesus.
you might as well move in with me this week.
Yeah, well, it's been cheaper a mile round.
You don't know how much I charge. You know?
Well, that is true. That is true.
That's the basics. It's just the extras you got to be careful of.
All right.
Hey, let's quickly change the subject. Just want to remind people, if you didn't see it before the game start, get on over to our YouTube channel, Leicester Till I Die. Search down the list until you come to the prediction show banners. And watch, not yesterday's show, Wednesday's show, I think it was. We had Mark Selby, who supplied, he wasn't on it, but he supplied his thoughts on who's going to win this weekend. I think it was quite interesting, wasn't it, Brad? I know he wasn't on the show, but it was quite interesting to see his thoughts. No.
Unfortunately, he couldn't commit to doing a little preview voice video for us, but it was still, it's huge for this channel and you, Chris, so very well done on getting it, because people say, oh, how do you get these people on the show, how do you get responses from them, and you do the hard work that people don't see, and that's reach out to these people and take a chance. And Mark was very, very gracious with his reply. He was very happy, even though he knew he couldn't spare time to do a video. He was more than happy to give his predictions. And for anyone, and I don't want to give anything away, but I do want to see if I can get that video some more looks and people that maybe question it. We don't always see eye to eye. We like to make contrasting points, and we like to try and maybe fight the other corner when it comes to points. And people might think we never get on, mate. And go on, just if you don't think me and Chris can always see eye to eye on the right sort of things, just go and check that one out, because it's very, very interesting. For how things went throughout that whole predictions, including the jester from Leicester. His predictions were fairly similar to say
only a
not
couple,
too much.
He was different to both of us on. The worrying thing is, of course, after that show, I can't really close the gap on you.
No, it's big brain box. Big brain. Problem. Big brain.
How's it going on the long ball, mate? How's it going on the long ball? I did actually, if anybody follows us on Twitter, which is at Leicester TID, or Facebook, which is Leicester Till I Die, the group, we also do a proper prediction league with Ian Marshall, the ex-player, on a thing called thelongball.net. I was trying to think where you were.
This is where, see, I'm surprised. I'm surprised you took this long to rub it in that I'm not doing particularly well in there. Considering I didn't do half a prediction for last week, I actually did better. I did nearly as good as you, didn't I?
Excuses, sir.
No, I've had an absolute mare. I am the Norwich football manager of the world in the long ball for some reason. I can do home, away, or draws, but I can't do scores. That rhymed, I didn't even know it.
It's funny because whatever we pick in the actual show, like the one the other day with Mark Selby, and what we do in the long ball, it's completely different.
It's like whichever one I do second, it's because my brain goes, them predictions you made last time? Yeah, that was a stupid idea. Let's go for this instead. That's what happens.
I can be honest with you. I did mine this week almost. It was only just like an hour or so after the show, and I couldn't remember what I'd gone for. That was the bad thing.
Me, the amount of times I do these sort of predictions. Obviously, this is where I do most of my prediction stuff. But I do others like on my phone and whatnot.
Yeah.
And I see results coming in. And I'm like, oh, I went for that. Oh, I've got that. And then I check it, and it's like, oh, no, I didn't.
No, I know.
Oh dear. Maybe I should have.
That's what Mark went for very quickly. So get on over to the show and check it all out. But we got a little match on. Well, it's tomorrow, 12:30. That means I've got to actually be up at about 11 to get the team announcements at 11:30. Bloody BT, what are you doing at that time in the morning on a Saturday? 12:30 kickoff from the KP. #LEIARS. The referee, not too sure about this one, Michael Oliver. And the VAR is Jared Gillett. And like I say, it's on BT Sport. If you want to listen to it, it's on Talk Sport, Radio Leicester, or lcfc.com/radio. This is our history against Arsenal in the Premier League, Brad. Played them 30 times. We've only won 5. They've got 17. So history's not with us.
No, but nor was it against Manchester United, and look what happened there. And I know that might sound like we're getting in on the Man U banter, but that generally shows just how times have changed. Because if you was to, and this is again proving my thing.
Were you having a little bit of Man United banter there? Were you?
No, us do something like that, Chris. You wouldn't allow it.
Viewers, apologize. I'm continue.
I love it.
That always cracks me up. It really does. Just the video itself, I don't even realise the bit at the bottom. It just cracks me up. It really does.
Well, stay tuned, because there may be another version coming up later.
Yeah, but again, like my point, but I was getting to, that was brilliant. It threw me off. It's brilliant. But if you looked at that over recent history, you'd probably see that Leicester may be edging that record in recent times. You know, a lot of them defeats came under a very glorious Arsenal tenure. Let's be honest, it was the Arsene Wenger tenure. No matter what certain groups of Arsenal fans thought about Wenger's time near his end, that was like a year on Rees and Bergkamp's. More recently, it's a whole different ball game for Leicester fans. I think we come into this game with just as much confidence as Arsenal fans might do in the sense of getting something positive from tomorrow's game.
Well, fingers crossed. I mean, I made the point in a show earlier on in the week, which was I'd as sooner have played Arsenal earlier in the season when they were sort of struggling, and you know, they were prime candidates to be on the BBC's Pointless. But as it was pointed out, at that particular time, we weren't that good either.
No, we weren't. But it was one of them that you felt you could also look at that in a way as that could have been a game that if we had a bit earlier, we might have got this run that we're on started a bit earlier. Because Arsenal may have came here, tried to play defensively. Not saying that they might not try that. I wouldn't suggest that, but I have listened to Brendan's press conference, so who knows? You know, but you know, coming here in a different spirit, it might still work in Leicester's favour, because if Arsenal have got a bit of confidence and try and get at us early, we're just as good as picking off teams and sitting back as we are being on the front foot. So it's going to be an interesting one. I am looking forward to this meeting with Arsenal.
I'm going to be honest with you. I'm a bit nervous. I'm not going to lie. I mean, I said it at the top of the show. Going into this match, this is the form. I mean, they're on the back of a 3-1 win over Villa, but they've actually won. And you know, this is what makes me laugh. And I'm on an Arsenal chat. This is Luca's live channel at 9 o'clock tonight with a couple of Arsenal fans. And no doubt, knowing which Arsenal fans are on there, we will have a bit of an Arteta out rant, I'm sure. And I might just have to mention it just to wind them up. But with that form, you know, 3 wins, they're not beaten in 5. Is, you know, you've got to, in fairness, say, shut up what you're moaning about.
Yeah, very true. And I think a lot of Arsenal fans, and I think I've said to you before that the thing that Arsenal fans fear is probably the same as what Manchester United fans do, but probably right now certainly not to the same extent as Man United fans are. But you get the sense and feeling from the people I've spoke to that they just fear that a team like Leicester turn up, beat them 2-0, 3-1, 2-1, whatever, and that starts a bit of a chain reaction. And I think if you was to ask both camps, if they were to lose tomorrow, who's more confident that they'll bounce back? I think it'd be Leicester fans that seemingly feel more confident that they could bounce back if the result doesn't go their way tomorrow. Whereas Arsenal fans will be kind of thinking the heart sinks. That's the impression I'm getting from people I've spoke to that I know support.
There's an Arsenal fan just popped in. Static, good evening, sir. How the devil are you? You guys are the favourites. I want you guys to win. Now, I know you may be not an Arteta fan, and in fairness, you know, I think the signs, there's a few green shoots of improvement coming along, and if you're still there in a few years, who knows? But even when we had Puel, and not many Leicester fans were behind Puel, I don't think we ever actually wanted the other side to beat us, did we?
I'm just going to say that no, we didn't. We really didn't. There might have been a few people. I think every team base has the minority of what I call idiots, and that generalizes to idiots that are always anti.
Nothing personal, Static. Nothing personal.
No, but no. I know. Static means it in jest.
Yes.
So there's a difference in how you interpret when someone says it, but when they're being genuine. No club's immune to the idiots, unfortunately. It's something we're just going to have to eke out of football. I wouldn't say, because I don't like saying we have to tolerate it. I don't think you should have to tolerate them sort of idiots that are like that in football, especially, obviously, I don't want to talk about it. It's a very, not a nice subject to have to bring up, but obviously racism and that, they're the idiots I'm talking about mainly.
Yeah.
And but Static is a blue, Static really is a blue. He hates Tottenham. I won't say he hates Arsenal because I know he's been.
He loves Arsenal. It's just Arteta that he hates. And no, don't get splintered in your bottom, Static. Don't sit on that fence too long. Get off. One side or the other. But the thing is, I think. And it maybe Arsenal are actually quite relieved that this is at Leicester more so than a bit like when Newcastle were at home. Steve Bruce knew he was going to get a lot more hassle once the fans were back than if they were playing away. If this was at the Emirates and we went ahead quite early, you can imagine the Arsenal fans, and I know the away fans probably will. They'll be getting on the team and Arteta's back. Yeah,
and you know what? For all the sticks, and I know they're a broken record when people bring them up, but for all the stick channels like Arsenal Fan TV do get at a time, I have to admit, I have a lot of time for certain one of their members. There's one in particular, and I won't say names because I'm not going to get into it. It's my own personal opinion, so I don't want anyone jumping on anybody. There's one there I'm not that fond with, but him aside, I actually do give them a lot of credit when it comes to Leicester, Arsenal on their channels. They have a lot of respect for us to a degree. Yes, there might be a bit of confidence and arrogance on their side because they're Arsenal fans. They've got to back the team. They're going to be biased. You expect that. But they're actually quite complimentary of us. They actually see us as a genuine threat, which the other supporters of bigger clubs perceived on paper and history, should we say, maybe don't give us the credit. We always find with a Man City or a Manchester United, it's all about how bad they were and not how good Leicester were. Where at least with them Arsenal fans, I do find that they're willing to give credit. And maybe that's because they're more all like, for blood Arteta out and all that. But I do feel I have a bit more of a time and respect for Arsenal in that sense with their fan base, because
I think you have with a lot of these bigger clubs. I mean, it's banter. I mean, Static, I've known Static. Tony, hiya, mate. Welcome along. How the devil are you? He's moved from Arsenal to Brentford. Don't blame him, to be honest with you. The Ford will lose to a proper team. I mean, it's banter. We know you love your team. We know you don't like your manager. We've all been there. We've had David Pleats, we've had Peter Taylors. We've had managers we've not liked before. But the thing is, it's banter. It's banter. And I think from Leicester's point of view, it's always a case of, to put it bluntly, it's nice to see these bigger clubs imploding. It's nice to see, those of us that are old enough remember when you guys weren't the big six, and there was a show that was advertised later, and the person that put the show up was in the chat. Don't know if they still are, and they know what I'm saying is very much tongue in cheek. But there was a post up earlier. They're picking the best team from the big six, and I kind of said, well, that's what annoys like Leicester, Everton, West Ham, and all those sort of fans, is that you fans think you are a big six, because how can you call Arsenal a big six? How can you call Spurs a big six? And I'm not saying that you can say that Leicester are, don't get me wrong, but on current form, they're not. It simply is a big 3.5.
Yeah, but yeah, the thing is, you could argue it back and forth for both sides because you could agree, and I think you'd find the proper honest fans would agree right now that the likes of Arsenal and Tottenham aren't currently top six caliber. You know, and there is a few of their fans out there that agree they're not top six caliber right now, and they would put the likes of West Ham, Everton, and Leicester, mainly probably West Ham and Leicester, because they've been, West Ham are looking to back up a successful campaign last year, and Leicester have been quite successful throughout. But I think that there's a lot of people that say, at the end of the day, whether you like them or not, facts are facts, and historically, categorically, on terms of what they've achieved in their longevity as a club on a whole, they are the bigger six out of every team because of what they've achieved and what they've won. So it's just one of them. I agree on, but I see both sides of the coin.
It's this argument. How do you class? And to be honest with you, I'd probably take top six more than big six, because the big six, in fairness to the fans, and like I say, it's banter going between us, but it's a Sky-induced thing, and they've classed the 6 teams that have the biggest audience around the world. Not the fact that they're the biggest team that have won; it's who can bring the money in for Sky TV. Now, will Newcastle, and you could argue that they're a big six with their history, because the thing with history is how far back do you go? And I will still argue to Man United fans, pre-Ferguson, Liverpool were the bigger club in the country than Man United were. And you can't, I think, because to me, the fan base does not make you the biggest club, because it all depends where you're from. It's what you can win. And Liverpool were winning everything at that point.
Yeah. And then there is probably a third part to the argument that would completely back up exactly what you've just said there, Chris, is essentially the big six. I cannot speak today. The big six.
It's only you cleaned your teeth this morning, can't do a thing with them.
I know, right? But the big six is exactly what you've just described it as. It was something that was made up, essentially. There was many a decade, because if you started it right back from time, you'd have your Villas and your Derbys and your Forests, which would have been the original big six, but we don't refer to them as a big six. We now just say they're a big club. Oh, they're a big club with great history, but then so it kind of, and again, that can counter argument those people that say history says we're the big six. Well, them clubs have had the argument that they've won European trophies as well. I do fall to the theorists out there in a little bit. I have to admit, I can be a sucker for someone that makes a very good, compelling argument towards it, and I think it is exactly what you said, Chris, to coin someone. I can't remember the channel I was watching when they were discussing it, but they basically said that, I think it might have been the Big Kickoff show. That's not a sponsored advertisement for their channel. I like True Geordie, and I know you do too, and probably people have heard of it. Where I think one of them basically said it's almost like the Premier League went, right, we're getting a big name for ourselves. If we can come up with a title and pick 6 big selling clubs, let's lock them off and make them sound as more prestigious than realistically they are, which probably puts more pressure on them. And I think that's why you see a lot of big managers classes failed there. I think if there was no title to a big six, a lot more managers would have been given more fair time. And again, it alters the fans' expectations because you don't have that titles to it.
Yeah. I mean, again, with Chelsea, pre-Abramovich, they spent just as long in the second tier, probably as they did in the top tier. Tony's moaning about Halloween and fireworks. And it is, of course, this weekend, these are the Halloween fixtures. And I think, looking at those shows, I think there's going to be some horror results out there, isn't there? Indeed, it will be a scary weekend, but it's also I'm not sure. This can't be our remembrance match, can it? I read somewhere that it's coming. It might be this one that they're going to make the remembrance match. Maybe somebody can tell us. I mean, Dortmund is a very good. Sorry, Brad.
No, I was just about to say, I think it all depends on if this is our home game, if our next home game won't be until after Remembrance Day. I think sometimes some clubs, because they want to do it home and away, don't they? These
Yes.
sorts of things, it's quite traditional.
Yeah.
So
I'm not sure who we've
next,
got after. It's Leeds next week away.
It's Leeds next
No,
week,
not sure.
and then
Yeah.
I can't think it might.
No. It would
it
be
Everton?
the weekend after, whoever it is on that week. But
Yeah, so that might be
Dorco
why.
makes a very good point here. He said there's no Arsenal players who could make it into the Leicester team, although Arsenal would love to have 5 or 6 of ours. I mean, we did start doing. Before you say anything, Brad, we did start doing with Craig a combined 11 that we think from fit players. So it's not just the squad; it's the fit players who we would put in that combined 11. And the other day for Brentford, Craig actually said we can't do it because there's nobody I would pick. And somebody I think said exactly the same about Arsenal.
See,
Didn't you?
I think there is probably one spot for contention for me, and that is probably, now people might shoot me for this, and just remember I do like him here, but should something not happen with the Lookman deal, for Leicester to go to playing the wide formation, which would include Harvey Barnes and a right winger, I would be inclined to say that I think Saka would get into our team in that sense. I think he's probably the only one, maybe Smith Rowe, but I wouldn't immediately think about him being a starting 11 player. But there is probably one or two that Leicester fans wouldn't turn their nose at getting. But I do agree it'd be difficult to do a combined 11 because I'd literally just name the 11 and I'd be forced to do a formation which includes the left and right wingers to put Saka in there.
Yeah.
And that's only because technically Lookman isn't our official player. That's the only reason I put him in.
Yeah. You can't get away from the fact that you did say there's not one Arsenal player I would put in the combined 11.
Yeah, I didn't think about it until I thought about, technically Lookman isn't ours, and that formation, I would have to get one, but yeah.
Nathan says her ears are burning, I think, because of the laugh. As long as the only your ears that are burning, Maisie, put the key ring down.
Otherwise, the way he's going, it'll be Chris's wallet that's burning if you keep asking for these royalties.
I'm just like I say, we won't mention the key ring. Orange juice, please bear with us. We've got to. You keep asking for. We know you've asked for the potential.
We will be doing it. Don't you worry.
We will come to that, but we're not going to chuck it into the middle of the show. We will. You put yours up, which I put up earlier. We will be possibly looking at that, as I say, later. So please bear with us. And I think that's Maisie saying. I'm not just saying no to the key ring. I think. Anyway, this is Leicester Arsenal this weekend. We were looking before at the form going into the game.
Yes, we were.
And I'm just we've looked at the head-to-head. I mean, this is the season so far. I don't know if you can see that at all, Brad.
No, I can't. You have to read that out.
Let me read that out to you. So basically, we're ninth to their 10th. We both won 4 games. We both drawn 2. We both lost 3. Average goals scored per match. We're 1.6. They're 1.1. Average goals conceded. We're 1.6. They're 1.4. And then this is where you think this could end up in a boring 0-0. Clean sheets. We've only kept 1 all season. I think we need to get Ranieri and his pizzas back. They have kept 3 clean sheets. But created chances per match, we've created, as has averaged out to 1 chance a match. Arsenal's is 0.67. This could be a snooze fest, couldn't it?
You know what? It all points to, doesn't it? All this talk about goals and no clean sheets and both teams on form, everybody scoring up front for both sides. Q 0-0. Really, it would be typical of that. It's going to be. I think it's going to. Either way, though, I do think even if it is somehow 0-0, which wouldn't surprise me at all, knowing our luck, I still think it'd be an entertaining game. because of the form the forwards are in and some of the ways that goals have been created, especially from a Leicester perspective, have been quite special of late. I think there'll be some intricate moves put together.
My reply to that, because Maisie saying this game could be like a Burnley Norwich. All I will say, Maisie, is can we play you every week? Every week, every week. Can we play you every week? Man United. Yeah, you see, you made me sing, Maisie. You made me sing.
Now you've done it. Now you've done it. Well done, Maze.
but yeah, we do like playing Man United at the moment. 4-2.
I thought to never bring it up.
No, last two games. I mean, this is our most recent record, though. In fairness, against Arsenal, and it's actually not as bad as you think. I mean, they beat us 3-1 last time out, but we beat them 1-0 in the first game. I remember that first Leicester Arsenal game, the 1-0. Looking at the lineup that Brendan had put out, thinking, "Oh my God, Brendan, what the hell are you doing?" And we won 1-0, and you suddenly think, yeah, he's a masterclass. He knows what he's doing. But, before that, a 1-1, but then we've got a 2-0 and a 3-0. So recent history against Arsenal probably does point more to a Leicester win.
Yeah, it really does. It's exactly what I said to you earlier when you brought up the overall record. Leicester are more than edging it, actually, as you've shown there, in recent history. Ever since probably our return to the Premier League, they've obviously, we know they did the double overs and won the league in February and then we won it again in May. And they've. I think if I'm correct in thinking of it, you just put it there and you've said that right. That they only beat us for the first time at the King Power last season since that season. So you would like to think that Leicester have the advantage. But they will be wary of what Arsenal could do because despite what we think about the opposition that they've beat and got results against, we do always come on here and say you can only beat what's in front of you. And Leicester have to make sure that they do that tomorrow afternoon because this will be a game that I think both teams will want to get maximum points from it and you could see a game that's, neither team's also going to want to lose it 3-1 or 3-0 or something like that. They're going to make sure that even if they don't come out with the right result, the performance gets a result that they can look back on and take a lot more positives out of. Yeah, because this could be a vital fixture for both teams in their season.
It does.
I think.
It does. I'm a bit worried about Maisie because Maisie actually likes my singing voice and if you call me Christopher Maisie, I will stop liking you. That's my mother and my ex-wife used to call me that when they were telling me off, and that was it. But another message here for the Arsenal, and I'm making the most of this just in case we lose tomorrow. A message here for the Arsenal fans.
Viewers, apologize. I'm continue.
How is that process going there, Arsenal fans? Devils United wants Brad and me to do a duet together. Oh, no, you don't.
No, the last time we all tried singing together, probably dogs and cats were screaming outside. Anyone remembers that Euro song?
Scott, I do love your optimism this weekend. I seriously do. He's gone 5-3 to Leicester. In my life, if like that film Groundhog Day, if I have to have a Groundhog weekend, I want it to be this weekend because according to Scott, there's going to be like 150 goals this weekend. Love it, Scott. Love it. We need to get you on next week, Scott. Give me a message and we'll have a chat. Yes, yeah, yes, Tony, I do love playing that clip. You're quite right. Dorco, win and we go fifth. What we do for about an hour and a half, depending on what happens in the rest of the games. But
Don't we go
be
fourth if we win by a few goals because of Man United's heroics against Liverpool?
Yes, I don't know what Brad is. Brad's colouring, doing painting.
You'll see. Orange Juice is very excited for what I've got written on my board. That's all you need to know. If you haven't picked up the hint, that's what I've been doing on the board.
All I will say is that it will be one of those moments where you're just about to do it and the stream ends.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So that's I'm still thinking of that guy laughing still at the moment. I'm going to be honest with you. Brad is writing his lyrics for the duet.
That's on the other side of it. Not that side. Can't see that. It's got that copyright.
Arteta's at the wheel. I can't.
If Liminali were driving towards each other, they'd miss.
If we win, do you think? If we win, do you think it's going to be like Leicester get rid of another manager?
No, I don't. And the reason being is he's actually they're in form. You don't really sack a manager after one blip result, no matter what you think of the manager.
Wolverhampton.
Well, yeah, but
no, not Wolverhampton. Sorry,
Watford is what you meant. Yeah, but Watford are
mixed up.
Yeah, but Watford live on a different planet to the rest of the Premier League. Their owners, so we ignore them sacking managers because I reckon you could win 6 in a row, win manager of the month, and come 7th, and they'd still sack you.
Yeah, that's very true.
But no, I can't see Arteta getting the sacked. In fact, they've probably shown enough form already that if they kind of do that throughout the season, then they will probably sneak into the 6th or 7th spots. You know, kind of stumble there in a weird way. People think, I'm not sure how they got there, but when you look back at their results like we just have, they're actually, despite who they've been playing and again what people think of the teams they've beaten and drawn, they're in good form. So no, I can't see us getting a sacking.
And talking of managers, Brendan's come out again, having been linked with both Man United and Barcelona, that he is happy at Leicester. So, guys, if you sat there being a newspaper editor, save the ink, save the planet.
I tell you what, Chris. Right, I'll chip in with you. Right, should we just get a white shirt and with words on it saying I'm happy here and send it to Leicester City and address it to Brendan so we could just go for his press conferences and just put that out?
Yes.
I'd love it if he did something like that. I would. It'd become an instant legend.
I would love it.
Love it if he Kevin Keegan did.
Yeah. I mean, it is becoming a joke, to be totally honest with you. Any player, any managerial position, and Leicester are going to lose the things. I mean, I dared to think what it would cost them in compensation if they did, and Barcelona couldn't afford it with the moment anyway because they're almost going out of business. But yeah, he's had to come out and say again, just a few weeks after reconfirming his commitment to City amid links to Newcastle, Rodgers has had to do so again with his name mentioned in connection with those 2 high-profile jobs that I mentioned. And he goes on to say he insisted that he still wants to continue working on the project at the King Power Stadium, where he has a contract until 2025. Guys, if you had decent clubs, you'd be getting it right in the first instance, not having to worry about getting somebody to replace somebody. Because, I mean, Ollie just got a new contract, if my memory serves me right, Maisie. And Arteta, well, let's not go there, eh? So this weekend, few injuries going about. We don't know with was it Ben White? Yeah, Ben White that Arsenal signed for.
I've heard Ben White might not be fit.
But apparently the whole team, Arsenal struck by a sickness bug, and £50 million man hasn't trained ahead of Leicester City, and yet somebody said they have seen him. Playing. Sorry.
If that's Ben White, then he's not playing.
Well, they said that, but then the people have said they've seen him on the training pitch. So you don't know what to believe, do you?
No. I mean, we all remember what happened with Maguire, didn't we? They said he wouldn't play. Probably shouldn't have played, to be fair. Yeah. He clearly was still injured, but, you never know. hopefully Arteta's looked to that, and even if he has trained, they may have thought, well, we saw what Maguire did after one training session. We're not going to risk it, but we'll see. We'll see.
I know. Talking about their injuries, look at our injuries. Ricardo and Perez may miss the match. I think Ricardo's just got quite a bit of a twinge he's done again, hasn't he? But they'll be continued to be monitored. So we're not saying that they're out, but they are being monitored. And this is what we thought. Jamie Vardy will be back and available after sitting out the Brighton Cup match. And that has got to be a good thing, because I'll lead on from that to my new Did You Know section. Just to hear, Leicester striker Jamie Vardy has scored more Premier League goals against Arsenal than he has versus any other side in the competition within the Premier League. 11. Only Wayne Rooney has netted more against Arsenal. He does like playing Arsenal, doesn't he?
He really does. Yeah, I actually saw that myself on Leicester's video with the press conference with Brendan. It was brought up, and I was not surprised by the fact that he'd got so many goals against Arsenal, because he's probably the first big six club that springs to mind when people say which one of them does Jamie Vardy score the most past. You'd instantly take you straight to Arsenal. But yeah, it is written for him, and he does like a headline. So he does like breaking records. You wouldn't put it past Jamie Vardy to bag twice tomorrow and break Rooney's record and sit there on lucky 13, I guess.
I guess in fairness, and I've just got to really, really say, Maisie, thank you so much for this.
Oh, thank you, Maisie. Well done.
She's become a member. I've got to go and check what you get now.
You get us. That's what you get for free.
Yes.
You get us for free. No, you get us now for your rates. Where we get.
For those that used to watch EastEnders, Brad will turn up at your door. You'll open the door and he'll be there with just a spinning bow tie on.
I am not Frank. I am not Frank. I might be old, but I'm old enough to know that.
But Maisie, you are a lady. Thank you so much for that. That is really most appreciated. I put me off. What was I saying before? Yeah, I was going to say Jamie Vardy. He does like the thing with Jamie Vardy is whether it be Arsenal, Man United, Chelsea, Spurs, etc. He does score more against the. I'm not going to say. I'm going to say the top six, because they do play to his strengths. Unfortunately for them, but fortunate for us, and he'll always get more goals than like a Brentford that pack the back line.
Yeah, they will, and you know that's no disrespect to any other club. Every club kind of manages the quality they've got, but in combat teams in different ways. Sometimes we see, one team might put 10 men behind the ball against us to their own discretion, if that's what the manager thinks is going to stop us, and it might work. But then next week, another team might try and put 10 men behind the ball, and it doesn't work unless they go away with a 3-0 win. This is going to be very interesting because Arsenal, like you said, are one of them teams that probably feel that even if Leicester strike, they can still damage us playing their way. Kind of, they can power through being 1-0 down. They can come back and win a game. Whereas some teams may feel that if they let the lead go and get caught out, Leicester are a team they know can just go bang, bang with a couple of quick fire goals, and all of a sudden they're climbing a mountain. Especially given our form and how we're playing football at the moment in all competitions.
Yes,
as well as just the league.
And just going back to the Did You Know page, because this will lead us very nicely into the one to watch. But 2 of the 4 players aged 21 or younger to create more than 10 chances in the Premier League this season are Arsenal duo Smith Rowe with 13 and Saka with 14. With Smith Rowe assisted in 2 of his last 4 Premier League appearances. I think you might say there are a couple to watch, wouldn't you?
I certainly would. And one of them is Mr. Smith Rowe.
There we go. Do tell us why.
Normally when Arsenal have had a bad run, you probably look towards a player and think, where's their anchor? Where's the guy that's taking the games by the scruff of the neck. You can see a bit of passion in him. You can see somebody who's willing to back up the quality that they hold within that squad with the likes of Aubameyang, and it was a toss-up between Saka and Smith Rowe, but I think maybe it's because I'm a Leicester fan, but I think the one that goes a bit unsung out of the pair of them is Smith Rowe. I think Saka takes a lot of plaudits. Maybe that's because of his Euros, you know, and his good form. I don't know, but Smith Rowe's going to be a danger for us. He's very high of energy. He does play a very good game when he's on it, and he does seem to really, really want to represent the shirt of Arsenal. You know, there's been questions in Arsenal's past tenures, players like Alexis Sanchez, Mesut Ozil, without getting done politically, very big statements, and they've always had a player that maybe Arsenal are focused. And I said it before on a few other channels. I maybe said the issue of Arsenal is they were focusing more on the big expensive name and trying to please them than they were considering these youngsters that have got the passion and wear the shirt, and they're not thinking about next week getting another 300 grand through the door. They're thinking about making a name for themselves to the club. And Smith Rowe has really impressed me. And like I said, I think if he was to maybe take two players from Arsenal, I'd be very happy for Smith Rowe to be a Leicester player, because I think you would find a way to fit him into your team. Again, maybe not an 11 with how well the midfield is playing at this current time, but I definitely feel if you look at the quality we've brought in this window, he more than matches that caliber of player to bring in. If I was Arsenal, they're wanting to improve, continue using players like Smith Rowe and give them time. Because look what's happening at Leicester and Chelsea. I'll give it credit for all the bands they take for having 400 loans out. With Tuchel, the youth gets a bit of a chance. Leicester are a prime example of it. If Arsenal keep following that pattern, they will improve. The fans and the manager and the board especially have to just bear with them, because he is a good player to watch. You know,
yes. Yeah.
Regardless
now,
of
I'm going to make you and grapefruit juice, orange juice, very, very happy in a minute, and we're going to do that straight after this short break.
Leicester Till I Die TV.
The three bears may have stole your bets, the three little pigs may have blown you away, but the three amigos will dazzle you.
They make the Three Stooges look like amateurs.
Maybe.
That's brilliant, man. I love that.
New show coming up. Thank you, Seth. New show coming up. The first one's Monday at 7. Beyond the 90. Ant's a Leicester fan channel and Leicester Till I Die getting together, and we're going to be looking back at the last month at Leicester City Football Club. Nothing else, just Leicester City and what we've done. Plenty to talk about in the last month, because we've had, as normal with Leicester, had our fair shares of up and downs. Now we can actually take it one further than your notes, if this works, which is what I was doing whilst I was there. We can actually do this on screen. And let's do this. We found this out the other day, and it's a bit of a nice new gadget, this, sticking us at the bottom. Not that we particularly like bottoms or whatever. What formation have you gone for, Brad? You better say one that's on here, otherwise I won't be happy.
I'm not sure if it is just looking at it. I'd really hope it is. There's more than I thought. I'm more of an advocate for, if it's not broke, don't fix it. And people just need to bear with me, because I will explain, because I'm sure you'll ask, why I'm not going to stick with the 3/5 at the back. I'm going for a 4-3-1-2.
Okay, 4. You have to.
If you can't find it, it might be a 4-1-3-1. 4-3-2, if that's the nearest you can get to it. But it essentially has
4-2. Well, 4-2's no 3-1, 5-3-2, 4-3-3. 5-4-1, no. 3-5-2, no. 4-3-2-1. 3-3-3-1. I tell you what.
How do you not have the
Have you got
4-3-1-2?
it there on your board?
Yes, I do.
On your board. Here we go. Right, I'm gonna put you large here. So
Right, okay.
just bear with us, and you talk us through the team.
Right, I do apologise that they don't have that tactic on there. I'll probably play too much games. But yeah, people might think, oh, Brad taking a risk with the 4 at the back. The reason there is a double right up there is because obviously, just in case Ricardo isn't fit, I'd have to switch it around a little bit. But it doesn't really change the reason I'm putting them players in. Obvious choices: Kasper Schmeichel in goal. Danny Ward may have had his heroics in the Carabao Cup, but I think everybody knows that Kasper Schmeichel is going to be playing.
What about Jupokovic? Don't forget him.
Oh yeah, who? Yeah, him. Sorry, it's because Scott's name's on the thing. I'm trying to make it so everybody can still see it. Now the back pairing, because I've obviously taken out a defender from the solid back 3, I would go with Johnny Evans. And no, don't test your eyes. That is a DA for Daniel Amate. I think if you looked at this season now and you go on current form, them two are Leicester's in-form back pairing.
Yes.
And I think Daniel Amate right now is quite ahead of Soyuncu in what he's doing. And people may argue that, oh, well, Soyuncu against Evans, we know what they're capable of. But this is a game for Leicester where I think maybe having a level-headed, because I'm not a defender that is good, but has an ability to lose his head a little bit and maybe rush out too quickly to a ball. Daniel Marty is quite conservative, quite scarce to say, but he's very reserved and just gets the ball out. He doesn't like to do his pro turns. He likes to get rid of the ball. And I think you're going to need that against Arsenal with the way they play the game. They like to play a bit of a counter-attacking style football. They like to flood men forward quickly and normally pushing up to almost a 4. And that's why I've gone with Leicester trying to combat that with a 3 in midfield. Kind of Wilfred and Didi, if he's returning, because I'll jump to midfield and explain the wingers. I think they're a bit self-explanatory, the left and right back, but I will explain them in a second. And to fit all of our in-form midfielders at the moment, which is a fit in Didi and eligible to play in Didi, Bakary Samara's been really good. James Maddison's returned to his old self, and Yuri Tillman speaks for himself. This is the way I could fit them in to kind of counteract an Arsenal side that may try and hit Leicester hard on the attack. And that's having Wilfred Ndidi playing realistically as a central defensive midfielder, holding that up, anchoring it up to shore up the gap for the defence if it's needed. That probably gives more freedom to Samore and Tillemans to run at Arsenal and get being in around them areas for when Leicester attack. And it probably helps the system of James Maddison having more of a freer role, because one of them can stay up if Tillemans needs to drop back or Samore needs to drop back, depending on which side Arsenal come down. We still lose Leicester with 3 men up front in Maddison, Vardy and Iniacho, and somebody no doubt available out of one of them to be an outlet to start that attack from and get straight into Arsenal's half. And talks maybe about Luke Thomas. I would prefer to go with Castagna, because again, I think out of the left-sided players we've got, JJ's not fit yet. He's back in training, which is fantastic, and I'd love to see him back soon. But in terms of playing, he's not got a chance of playing. I'd be very surprised at all if he's even on the bench. And I'd go with Timothy Castagna. If Ricardo's not fit, I'd just swap him to the right, because I think the reason I've got Luke Thomas as my reserve, like I say, Ricardo's not playing, is because I think we need pace on that side, because obviously we don't have the width in the midfield. We need two players that can maybe stretch that midfield and really make it wide and keep them options to either recycle the ball if we get in a bit of trouble, or stretch Arsenal's midfield if we catch them out pressing high up the field. And Luke Thomas gives you that with his pace and his natural recovery rate. And the same goes for Timothy Castagne and Ricardo Pereira. Obviously, all three of them in great form. But yeah, if Pereira can't play, it'll be Luke Thomas on the left, Castagne on the right. And if Ricardo can play, it's just Ricardo on the right and Timothy on the left. And that, for me, Chris, is the only reason why I would change the formation from a three at the back, because I think packing the midfield and being able to stretch them would counteract what Arsenal will committing men forward and make them a bit more cautious of them and maybe put them on the back foot.
Good points, totally good points there. Anthony did say, though, it looks like the code to start electricity on that board. Now, if I'm honest with you, no, I think what the effect Brad was going for, I do believe that the effect that Brad was going for was this. A bit of Breaking Bad there also gives Brad a little bit of a time to have a wipe up there. So no Lookman Barnes.
No, I thought they were both very. I thought they played well and did themselves. However,
both got a goal, you know.
They both got the goal. Both did the job that was required of them. In the performance that was a bit nitty gritty, which was probably expected considering 10 changes were made and given the circumstances of the fact it was a Carabao Cup tie and whatnot. They impressed, but I do think I don't see Brendan wanting to change too much. And again, we're a counter-attacking side and a front four that Arsenal seem to press with. I see Brendan maybe choosing to sacrifice a defender to stock that midfield a bit more, to have that hit against Arsenal rather than that. And I also think that maybe this is a game that Brendan thinks, right, Soyuncu's still a bit jittery. If I put him in this game and something goes wrong, I'm going to have to rework his mentality again. If he's not in there, I know Daniel Amarty, he's just going to deal with the ball. I know he's in confidence. He deserves to be playing. And I have to pick one. I feel Soyuncu maybe misses out on this game. I do feel these players will get their chance in games to come. I think I won't be doing the preview. It'll be your royal guest and far wiser one in Craig. If anyone's seen him on, I was just being polite to him. We'll do the Leeds one, but I feel you may see that, like Brennan says, depending on the opponent, might depend how we line up. We may see them get back into it. So they both had a good midweek game, so we'll see. But that's the lineup I've got to counteract Arsenal on Saturday.
And Maddison just coming back to form at the right time to show Arsenal what they missed out on.
Yeah, it's almost written for him, isn't it? He couldn't have picked a better time to find his feet and form. So that's why I thought, how can I fit? Because we're always thinking, how can we fit so and so in? Well, I think the question that Leicester fans struggled with was, how could we fit all these midfielders onto the pitch? And I thought this is the perfect team that Leicester might be able to fit them all in, and that's the lineup that I had to go for because I wanted to do that.
Anthony, I'm going to come to the scores in a second. But it is, and it's been given this more of a freer role, Maddison, as well. So, which I think he enjoys more. I do think he enjoys that more. Yeah,
I think he was. I think that was a thing that maybe Brendan realised he was a bit to take a bit of blame for in the nicest way possible for the slumping Maddison's form, because he did seem a bit frigid and a bit restricted, didn't he? Like he was almost told to only operate in a square, whereas now you do see him sort of given that free roam, if you will, sort of role. He's been told to have a bit of license to thrill, as they say.
I think for a player like him, a bit like, you can't imagine sort of tethering Gaza to one position, could you? You've got to sometimes, as players, that you just have to say, go where you think you're going to make the most effect, I mean, this is how close it is in the table. We're on the same points as Man United. Who knew? All is at the wheel. All is at the wheel. But then you're only 2 points above Brentford. But it is tight. It's tight between. You couldn't slip a bit of paper between our bum cheeks between Leicester and Arsenal. But Anthony was asking about the scores, so we'll ask you yours in a second, Brad. But this is. We have so many prediction leagues going on here. You wouldn't believe it. We have obviously the prediction show. We have the prediction league on longball.net. And then we run this. This is like there's me, but there's an ex-players league. I'm not saying I'm an ex-player. The Tags is leading at the moment. But this is what we've all gone for. I've gone for a 2-1. And I think Leicester will beat Arsenal 2-1. I think we have got whoever we play, we've got a goal in us, as in letting a goal in. I think our defence is just so unsettled at the moment. Marsh has gone for 1-1. Steve Walsh is very optimistic. He's got a bit of the old Scots about him there. He's gone 3-0. Tags has agreed with me 2-1. Steve Lynix has gone 1-0 to Arsenal, but the Arsenal fans don't get excited. He does he's so bad at this, he'll admit it. He goes reverse psychology. He was so bad one season that he just predicts that we'll lose every game in the hope that we don't. And Ian Wilson there has gone 2-0 to Leicester. So we're all pretty confident. Are you, Brad?
I am, and I think the result will be one of them that people might look at and go, oh, well, good to see that Arsenal back themselves, but it probably will be one of them where I think we'll hit Arsenal late when Arsenal are chasing the game. And I have actually I've got it and I will be going for it on the long ball. I'm that confident in it. It's not quite the heights of North Macedonia predictions here, but I am going to put a banker. I am going to put
as big as your Norwich predictions, Brad.
I was close though. I was close. The Sabre blushes by playing someone awful like Brighton. I am going to say that Leicester probably hit Arsenal and a sucker punch late on, and turn a 2-1 into a 3-1 win. I think Leicester are going to win 3-1.
3-1.
I think it'll be one. I think you know what I mean. It'll be one of them 3-1s. It won't be like a dominant 3-1. It'll be Arsenal throwing the sink at it, and Leicester nick an extra one late on.
Fingers crossed. Brad, I know you've got things to do, places to go, people to see, what hair to wash and what have you. So I will let you go. Believe it or not, we're going to see each other tomorrow again in the post-match show.
I know, right? Less than how many hours is it? How many hours is it until we probably see?
It's not 24 hours. I'd probably say not even 18 hours. I was thinking about that. Right? But you just stay online and I'll see you in the morning. It's about 3 o'clock tomorrow afternoon. We'll just go live, mate. We'll just go live and just let people just see our days. We'll have our breakfast and everything. We'll just show them out. We'll do a daily vlog, mate. People have gone off and come back and gone off and come back and think we're doing a telethon. Together all the time. But hey, good luck in what you're going to do afterwards.
Cheers, buddy. Thanks for that.
The Leicester flag, mate. Enjoy it, and thanks very much for this and your tactics, etc. I will see you tomorrow afternoon at 3, hopefully, talking about 3 points for the Foxes.
Yeah, hopefully, and thanks everybody for joining in. Thanks, Maisie, for becoming a member. That's great. It helps this channel out loads. Chris, really appreciate it. We all do here. And thanks for everybody who's joined in and hit the sub button, and I will see you all very shortly in this case.
Take care, bud. Thanks very much.
Bye.
Cheers. Bye. And this is exactly if I can find it. Here we go. He says famously, now what have I got? Yes, here is where you're going to see Brad. Post-match show tomorrow at 3 o'clock. And I'm going to do this just one more time because I do love it. Just for all the Arsenal fans, if you are still in here, some breaking news about Arsenal.
Viewers, apologize. I'm continue.
How's it working out for you? I'm getting all of these in now because tomorrow you could be getting your own back on us. I'm a little bit. I'm not going to say I'm not worried. I'm not going to say not worried. Big Crom, yes, it does make me laugh. It does make me laugh. Guys, if you've not watched it yet, do me a favour. Because we did a show last night at 9 o'clock. As you know, we do the big fat football quiz when we have all the different players, one fan on from each team in the Premier League. And we're struggling now. We've gone through the main teams and Norwich, etc., sort of running a bit scared. So we brought a new quiz out called The Race. Now, it's not totally football. There's a couple of football questions in there, but it's general knowledge. If you get a chance, please go onto the YouTube channel, Leicester Till I Die TV. Look under quizzes, which is one of the banners towards the bottom of the page. But look under quizzes and you'll see The Race. It's the Burnley fan taking on the Leicester Quizmaster. Just want to know, give me your thoughts. What you thought about it. Was it good fun? Did you enjoy it? Did you not enjoy it because it wasn't football related totally? And it was, more general knowledge. We tried to have a bit of fun. Just try to make it into say something a little bit different. Because a lot of things are all the sort of much of a muchness. You look at all the different shows on all the different channels and you can see that they're the same. So I was trying to do something a little bit different. Don't know whether it came off or not. It was a pilot show. So a few things may have gone wrong on that. And a few tweaks to do. But please, and then get on to, you can leave the note on the show on YouTube. Just post a comment. Let me know what you thought of it. Because if people don't like it and it's fair enough, then basically there's no point in doing it. But let us know. We had a laugh doing it. Hopefully if you watch it you'll have a laugh as well. So I am going to be popping over in just over an hour to This Is Luca's Life. It's an Arsenal fan channel. There's myself and Luca and another Arsenal fan going to be on there. Not the one I'm thinking of, hopefully. But that's at 9 o'clock. No doubt they will be giving me some grief about Leicester. Get their own back. Go for it, lads. It's all a bit of banter. Catch me on there. This is Luca's Life at 9 o'clock. And then we will be back tomorrow at 3 o'clock, like I say, for the post-match show. And then we are also going to be back at 6 o'clock on Sunday. When you would normally be watching Antiques Roadshow, turn it off. Come and watch me and Miss Melina, who's a big Arsenal fan, and we'll be reviewing the game, whichever way it has gone, win, lose, or draw. It's been a pleasure. Remember, if you want to watch this back, pop on over to YouTube. Scott says, thanks, on. I'll be on and give them some stick. Nice one, Scott. Message me on Facebook. I want to have a chat with you afterwards, Scott, if you can do. YouTube, Leicester Till I Die TV. Thanks to Maisie for the joining the membership. As Brad said, really do appreciate it, Maisie. If you want to help support the channel, you can make a donation through a super chat on here, or you can become a member. And there's a few extra little freebies and what have you that you get. And one of them, we are going to be bringing out a Leicester Till I Die clothing range and hats and things like that. So it's worth actually maybe joining and seeing what you get, because you get a bit of discount. If you prefer to listen to us, don't forget you can catch us on your main podcast platforms, including Google, Anchor, Apple iTunes, Spotify, etc., etc. Smart speaker, just say play the podcast at Leicester Till I Die. The captain, first time catching you live, always busy. Yes, I'm sorry, you caught us just as we're leaving. Tell you what you need to do, the captain, is subscribe, and then you'll get the reminders about when we go live. So subscribe and you get a notification. And of course, you can always go and watch on catch up. So sorry about that. Hope you're all right. Thanks for joining us, even though it was at the last minute. And so get over there, subscribe. Well, you are over there, obviously, on YouTube. Subscribe, and you'll never miss a show. I'm on more often than the Welsh are on the sheep. Let's just leave it at that. Thanks very much. I'll see you at 9 on This Is Lucas Live. Good night, guys. Stay safe. Here's to a Leicester win tomorrow. Come on, you foxes.
That's all, folks.
Hello, Matt Elliott here. Be sure to watch Leicester Till I Die TV on YouTube and follow all their social media platforms for all the latest updates and news on Leicester City Football Club.
Watch us on YouTube.
Listen on your favourite podcast platform
Or ask your smart speaker
to play the podcast Leicester Till I Die.
Subscribe, like, follow, and join in now.